Hello, one and all, and welcome to the League of Europe Division 2 here for the fourth round of the Championship here in Catalonia. I am, of course, not alone. I'm joined by my usual co-host at QVR Verstappen, who, if his voice is a bit shaky, he's a bit emotional right now, so just let it be. But yeah, Verstappen, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing, let's say quite well. You can imagine. Uh, we're here for D2 Spain, and as you might be able to see, if you got it on stream then, but there is a new feature to the game, which includes the full track map, and this is going to be very easy for us, as we can see who's on the lap, who's close to basically just crossing the line or starting a lap. So this will help us a lot.
Yeah, top marks the Codys there. That's actually really helpful for streaming, especially in quality, because you can see exactly what's going on. So yeah, we're here in Spain. We'll hopefully we get updated by the guys about any potential weather or changeable conditions. We had that in D1. We can certainly say that. But yeah, we're certainly looking for an entertaining race. Obviously, Gary leading them out with if I'm not mistaken, wait, hold on. His championship rival Cookie. Oh no, he's not. It's Maledictus running up behind him. That would have been quite good to see. But yeah, it's Gary that's leading them out on the hards. So strategies here can vary. You can start on the mediums. That's probably the most common strategy, medium to hards. We'll see if any drivers are going on softs, trying to spice things up a bit, maybe get a bit higher than they otherwise would have been. So there's a different mix here that you can really put together, and we'll see what drivers try and make the best of use of that.
Yeah, definitely. Medium hard seems to be the obvious strategy, but there could be one or two odd ones who choose to go on softs and try and get track position, as it's very hard to overtake here. We see Gary starting his lap here.
Yeah, and Gary I know he has put in quite a lot of practice for this race. He wants to make up ground in the championship versus Cookie Game, so we'll see how he's able to get on there as we watch him there coming through at turn 4. Thankfully Callum gets nicely out of the way. On the brakes into 5. Keeps it in second gear, looking for try and stay stable. You can put it into first, and you might see some other drivers do it. Gary opting for second to try and get a good exit. Puts it down to 4th then for surprisingly tricky traction zone. Coming out of turn 8, turn 9's a slight lift on entry and power out on the exit. Gary probably leaving a little bit on the table there. You don't want to go balls out in your very first lap. Hard on the brakes now into turn 10 to open up this very traction dependent final sector. Very tricky corners. He mounts that curve there. It does unsettle the car a little bit, and now flying out of turn 12, another difficult traction zone as we go into this awkward final chicane. Clip that curb on the inside, third up to 4th, and now down into 2nd for this last chicane there. You see using that curb on the inside, which you'll see a lot of drivers doing in this race. Gary, bit of oversteer, but he comes out the final corner up to the line, and he opens the session with a 19.2. I think we'll be seeing some quicker times, but Gary goes up top and immediately beaten by Maledictus, who goes to the top. So Red Bull, Maledictus showing they may have some pace here. He goes top for now.
Yeah, good lap from Portuguese man, as Matty G has retired, and we can do the track map. See, that's out of turn 9.
Yep. Track map was brilliant. Fair play to Cody's on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Gone are the days where you'd scroll through spectators to try and find him, but
yeah. So Nico is just 9 thousandths off Maledictus this time.
And Cookie goes a little bit quicker than Gary on a 19.1. So neither of the championship contenders right up there in the moment, but of course it's very early days. Expect the times to tumble. Probably you'll see the top guys getting into the 17s if they opt for the mediums, and I'm pretty sure you can expect that from the soft runners as well, just logically. But yeah, you'll be seeing some times, maybe even in the mid 17s if one driver hooks up a really good lap. So as Nico is out, and that looks to be, if I'm not mistaken, out of turn 8.
Yeah, so, that's difficult traction zone, as you said. Very surprising loss of traction you can have instantly there, and it looked like Nico has been the victim of that.
Yeah, so we're just looking for some cars on laps. I believe maybe Car Mentalist, if I'm not mistaken. He's just coming up to the line now, actually, on his lap, and he does a 19.5, just about a tenth behind his teammate. So yeah, this is great. We get to see where everyone is. McCrew is on going through the third sector, and he's shown that he's very, very quick over one lap. We'll see if he's able to put together something. As car off there, luckily doesn't get in the way too much. Going through this finish chicane, keeps it in overtake mode, which is for maximum power. Hopefully he's able to manage the traction, gets a decent-ish exit, and now run up to the line. Louis McCrew crossing now, and he goes P4 just ahead of Gary, just behind Cookie. So we're seeing times fairly close in the low 19s. Some fairly tentative driving, I think, from a few out there, but Maledictus is still top there, just in front of Nico. Of course, Nico won't be. Will probably expect his position to fall after that incident, so he may qualify outside the top 10 though, and have that free choice of tyre for the race. So it might not be too bad for him. As Mark pops in a 17.8 on those softs, so I think that pretty much gives away his strategy. Then he's going to look to try and qualify as high up as possible. So Mark, strategy could work if he stays out of trouble in his first few laps. So we'll see how Mark's able to get on. Looks as though he's going for the soft. 17.8 is time for the moment.
Yeah, it's a fairly good time. A lot of drivers just opting for the hard so far. Actually, everyone. I see Caleb Blue, Mark's teammate, also on the softs. So it looks like the Ferrari's just trying an alternate strategy here.
Yeah, these guys always seem to be on the same wavelength strategy-wise. So we'll see how they're able to get on. Caleb Blue just coming out of the first sector. And of course, there's no reference, but 21.8 is a fairly quick time for the softs. Running out towards the outside. You don't want to get your rear wheels on that grass. It will spin you unless you get right out the throttle, and you don't want to be doing that on a quali lap. Exiting now at turn 5, puts it up into overtake there, then to hot lap, braking down turn 7 and 8. Manages to nail the traction quite nicely, keeps it pretty much within track limits, which I don't think we see a lot of drivers doing. A lot of apex speed as we've got full course yellows, so I'm not sure what's happened there. I don't see anyone's gone out, so I'm not sure why
this slowing down.
Yeah, that looks to be it. So the driver's slowing down to let others through. Dan does a bit rather odd way of letting drivers through, driving into the gravel to let Keller through. But Keller now tries to exit that final chicane, tries to grab that traction on the exit. That time from Mark is 17.8. What does Keller Blue 19.5 do? Up to the line, and he does a 17.6. A quick lap that. Keller Blue goes to the top of the timesheets for now by just over 2 tenths. So he's looking to set that marker down and maybe be on pole position by the end of the session. Still a long way to go though.
Yeah, it's quite odd seeing the Ferraris out on top, as they're bottom in the constructors at the moment, so they were looking to make some ground up by going for risky strategies. Wait, can we see anyone else? The McLarens might be coming on to the lap. I think Jacob's just starting, and slipstream is being given by Adri, so...
These guys, we mentioned teammates being on the same wavelength. Well, that's pretty much the definition of it. Of course, Jaco, one of the fixtures that you'll always see near the top of D2. He's not had the start to the season that he would have wanted, but we'll see if he's able to deliver in this race. Currently on the hards there, through the first sector in 21.9 seconds. Very fast time for the hards. We'll see if he's able to keep that one up there. Short shifting up to 5th, being very cautious on throttle, making sure not to go wide, as that will cost you heaps of time and possibly even send you for a trip into the wall on the inside. But Jaco into 4th gear there, trying to grab it. 3rd gear, which unsettles the car a little bit. Not the best exit he could have got, but now flying it through. Down to 5th gear, trying to keep the revs up high and get the best acceleration you can. Coming off of turn 9 into turn 10 now. 51.7 through the first 2 sectors. Clips that apex on the inside. And we've still got other cars on their laps on the hards. But this is looking pretty quick from Jaco. We'll see if he's able to keep it up through these last few corners. 3rd gear, better sliding, up to 4th to stabilise the car. Now 2nd through these last 2 corners, short shift to 3rd, gets good traction on the way out, little bit of a wiggle, but he's still going strong there. Up to the line, Jekyll does an 18.9, which is the 3rd fastest of the hard runners. Maledictus though, currently still top of those guys, so he's looking very impressive there, setting the pace at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite odd seeing the Championship 1 and number 1 and 2 being both beaten by their teammates currently. As I just basically said, Gary going up to P3 with an 18.6. That's good lap from
that's a very
Irish
quick time on. That's a very quick time on hards for sure. So Gary, showing that he has got a lot of pace around here. We'll see if Cookie responds. Cookie, in fact, as if on cue, round the final corner, does he get up towards Gary's time? No, it's only a 19.0 behind Jekyll and Nico. So yeah, okay, looking a little bit off colour right now. Of course, still early days, very early days in the context of the race, so Cookie's got a lot of time to improve, but currently, Gary in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. So he'll be looking to make some ground up after China, as Cookie won that one again. And, maybe he'll go back and forth, and I think Gary will be hoping for that one, for this race at least. So let's see if there's anyone else on their laps. The
I believe, no, V5's not one. I think
I just said a lap.
20.1 at the rear of the field, so yeah,
I
very
think
close.
Mark is on the lap.
Mark on a soft lap, right? We'll get a bit of a demonstration of probably what's going to be one of the quicker laps in the session. Hopefully I haven't jinxed you there, Mark, so keep it together, lad. Going through turn 8, nice traction on the way out. He's keeping it well within the limits, just not taking risks, which can actually be the fastest way around this track at times. Hopefully the car doesn't get in the way too much. I say that. Ooh, that's a bit awkward there by Bowyer Road there. McCrew getting out of the way. It's a bit of an odd situation down at that hairpin. Mark, though, still pushing on, so he clearly thinks he can improve on that 17.8 and maybe get towards Killer's mark of the 17.6 around the last couple of corners. Keeps it tight on the first one, opens up the next third gear, being very cautious on the way out, and now up to the line, puts up into overtake. Mark crosses, and he's just behind his teammate by 300. So Killer still in the driving seat. A lot of drivers in the pits right now, so I believe we'll watch Killer Blue going round currently in turn 4. Take it away, Verstappen.
As he's coming up to turn 5, difficult braking zone if we find out with many drivers. Skips the third gear, quite high. Revs out the engine quite nicely there. Into 6, down to 4, 4 turn 7 and 8. He's revving the engine up towards turn 9 with difficult corner, but he seems to get it right. Bit wide on the exit, a little bit of oversteer. It's good for good measure as he comes up, and it's 1.5 tenths up on his time. Coming to the difficult turn 11 and 12, does it quite nicely, keeps in 4 through 12, and lines himself up for turn 13, again in 4th gear for the difficult chicane as he runs quite wide, and that might be an invalidation. I think it is, and he heads into the pits.
It might be an invalidation.
Yeah. That's quite clear an invalidation indeed.
Mark is remarkably the only car on... Actually, no, I lie, he's the only car on track. It's Callum and Super Gamer. Callum just starting a lap, so we'll go on board. Actually, no, Super Gamer's in front of him. We'll go on board with Super Gamer there. Currently sitting 16th on a 19.8, so he's going to try and find some time on these mediums. Let's see if he's able to hook it up now. Turn 1, using that curb on the outside. Really maximise that turn and get good momentum through the corner. Leaves a lot of space to turn into turn 2 and then turn 3. Really optimising that. Does he stay flat? Yes, he does. So good corner by Super Gamer. Currently sitting on a 22 dead. First sector there, 10th up on his time. Runs quite wide, manages to wrestle it back, using the oversteer to rotate the car actually, and now down, 2nd gear eventually, back up to 3rd, then to 4th, now shifting up through into turn 7, puts it up to 7th just before the entrance, bit shaky, gets a lot of oversteer, but he's going to continue on, soldier on this lap, keeps it in 6th gear, going through turn 9 onto the outside curb, now down towards this tricky braking zone, big braking zone, into turn 10, hooks up the apex quite nicely, running onto the curb on the exit as well, bit of oversteer but it's okay, runs very deep onto the curb and wide, gets back on line and hooks it up round turn 12, now turn 13, these last few corners, breaks down, runs well wide over the curb and onto the grass. He is not going to improve. One person that might improve is Callum, coming round the last corner, now the Williams man up to the line, he does an 18.4 and currently goes P3 with still some quick drivers to go, but currently sitting pretty up in 3rd place at the moment, so I think Callum would be happy with that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's, I think one of the Mercedes drivers might be lap, and that might be either them. He's onto the main straight, looking to get a good time on those mediums. Gets a bit of the outside curb on the entry here, down into 3rd gear, keeps it nicely. Just over the curb in turn 2, which is quite surprising. Keeps it almost flat into turn 3. and he's done a 21.8. That's actually a
Very
really
quick,
good time for
yeah.
the first sector split. Bit of twitchy on the exit of 4, down to 5, leaves a bit of space on both the entry and the apex. Exit looks nice though. It's much through 6 and 7 here. 8, good exit. Looks very clean and all. Quickly down into 5th, back up to 6th, and open up the DRS for the main braking zone here. Turn 10. Comes around and just lifts a bit on the apex of 11. Still looking very clean as we're used to from this man. Coming up to the final chicane, 14 and 15, bit wide on the entry. Still continues on. Let's see where he comes out. He's opened up the DRS and he sets a 118.8, and I think that last chicane might not have helped him too much on that.
No, the lap, yeah, it looked pretty clean. First sector was very good, just messed up that last chicane a little bit, missing the apex. So we'll see other drivers. J. Cole is coming through that last sector there in third gear through turn 12. Gets a nice exit now onto that curb on the inside, hitting the apex nicely. Onto the brakes again, down into second gear. He's very clean on the downshift, J. Cole. On to the exit now, keeps it nice and flat, going around that final corner. Onto the outside and now run up to the line. Does an 18 dead, which is a pretty quick time. And 8 tenths quicker than his teammate that goes P6, who was again running in the slipstream, these McLarens. They love a bit of a formation, as Gary's just started his lap, so we'll allow you to take it away. Gary Donegan, who was the quickest driver on the hards. Let's see what he does on the mediums.
It's 21.8 once again in the first sector. Very nice exit out of 4. Looks very quick so far. Down to second and short shift back up to third. And to turn 7 here. Difficult tractor zone as mentioned before.
Very
Takes
clean.
as much curb as he wants. And does take it very clean. At least a bit of apex speed there. Let's see where he comes out. And there's a 51.2, that's really quick for my memory. Cookie Games is ahead, let's hope he can get out of the way.
Yep.
I think he does that quite nicely there. Goes up to turn 13, 14 and 15. So Dylan moving up into P4. Let's see, there's a lot of curb on that. Turn 15 down to 16, and let's see where he comes out. As he sets the 118.1 just under a tenth behind Jekyll.
I think the last chicane let him down there. That hitting that curb on the inside forced him a little bit wider than I think he wanted to, cost him his exit speed. So Cookie, despite lacking a little bit of pace here, has an opportunity to, I say that, he gets massively out of shape going through turn 1. He's still valid, I think, but that's cost him hugely. And I see there's a Ferrari, and Mark is out. Killer Blue, can he further stamp his authority on this session? Yes, he does, a 17.2, which is an absolutely huge lap. 4 tenths clear. And we'll see if anyone is able to get anywhere close to that. I don't think...
just 1 thousandths behind Gary.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see going further down. V5's not improving. Dan coming around the last corner. He does an 18.5 and only P10. Maledictus, huge spin!
Ooh, it's unfortunate that he has such a good lap on the hards there. Cookie runs wide into turn 10. Looked too clean. Let's see. First, I think there's Gary. I don't know if he's on another lap, but he comes around the final corner. It does look like he's completing that lap. But he's invalid, so it doesn't really matter. Super Gamer goes into on the softs into P3. It's a good lap. 17.8.
18.4. 18.4 from Cookie. Yeah.
So he's not showing his pace he had in, for example, Australia and China, even Bahrain.
No, what happened was I just caught him there. He got out of shape. Turn 1 must have got a bit too hard on the brakes. Rear sliding. Must have cost him a lot of time. So
I basically saw the same thing happening to him at turn 10, and he almost didn't make the corner even. That's how far he ran wide. So it wasn't really the best lap from the Red Bull driver. We'll be looking to make up in the races. We know he has pretty insane starts. So
Yeah, indeed. But I think Jekyll was in the power position here, the fastest medium runner. Of course, these soft starters could present a bit of an obstacle. The two Ferraris, we'll see what they're able to do from the position. I'm very excited to see where they end up in the race. Super Gamer as well, picking himself up with a solid 17.8, or, well, yeah, 17.8 I think it was, to get third. So, it's those three, top three. Jekyll, fastest medium runner, just in front of Gary, barely in front of McCrew. He heads Dylan in the Toro Rosso, YYY in the Haas, and then Car Menzel's Cookie rounds out the top 10 just ahead of Harron and Ward, and Callum, Dan in V5, and Andrew veterans in 13th, 14th, and 15th. Then it comes the hard runners that didn't get the laps in the end, Maledictus and Nico, who both looked very impressive at the start of the session. Then there's Rick, Boy Road, Matty G unable to set a time. So that is your grid for this race. Of course, we've got different strategies starting at different positions. Interested to see what the guys outside the top 10 decide to go for, and yeah, they might be choosing hards, they might be choosing mediums, who knows? But it's those two Ferraris at the front of the grid. Let's see if they can stay there and maybe get away.
Yeah, that'd be ideal for them, and I think to get that constructors basically get their position in the constructors back up again, they need to take some risks sometimes, and maybe this will pay off for them. Let's see.
Yep, indeed. And yeah, so they need to pull out a gap in the first few laps because those softs don't last very long. It's possible to do a one stop from the softs to the hard, but I would not recommend it in the slightest. So those guys might be two stopping. But it's really down. We'll keep an eye on those top medium runners. The likes of Gary, Jaco, McCrew up front there. We know McCrew tends to make pretty good starts, so we'll see how he's able to get on as we go to the grid now. It's the Ferraris up front as we head on to the formation lap, and quickly let's check those tyre choices outside the top 10. Looks like Verstappen, if you can confirm that, we've got a pretty even spread here.
Well, pretty even, exactly even.
Exactly
actually.
even. Yeah.
It's, Callum, Dan, Nico, Boyrord, and Matty G starting on the mediums. That's 5 of them. And Harry, V5, Adri, Maledictus, and Rick all starting on hards. They'll be looking to stick with the trains basically and gain their positions on the second part of the race.
Yep, indeed. So there's not really much to say here, just watching these cars going around. And unlike Australia, we do have formations at the front of the grid, which is a bit of a shame. We just got these two Ferraris up front, as the Super Gamer looks to be back up the pack a little bit. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this race of the medium runner shapes out. If Gary's able to get in front of Jekyll, if Jekyll's able to get amongst the soft runners, if McCrow's able to jump them both, Dylan, White, I can't rule them out either. Look, see Cookie Games making ground off the start as well. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. We'll see we'll keep an eye on these guys outside the top 10, see who ends up performing better, the hard starters or the medium starters.
Yeah, definitely. So, main overtaking spots here are turn 1 and turn 10. I don't think there's any real overtaking spots we'll see an overtake at often. So, it's quite a hard track to overtake, so let's see how that pans out. Maybe that could benefit the soft runners a bit more. Let's see, it's the line up to grid.
Keller Blue takes the spot at the front of the grid. He's not had the start to the season that he would have wanted, being a veteran in the top division of this league. He wants to prove himself against these young guns starting behind him. I say young guns, Mark's alongside him. It's not exactly the best example, but anyway, it's Keller Blue and Mark leading out the field here as we wait for the lights to come on there. The heat hazing in the distance there, getting that effect. Great graphics from Cody's as we got 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights out, away we go. Looks like Mark got away quite well from second place, trying to get up alongside Keller Blues. Round into the wall is Jacob. Jacob comes across and does a massive accident down the straight. And how did they?
Cookie Games is involved in that.
Cookie Games has been caught up. That's huge for the championship, and to no surprise, got a VSC. I can't believe it's not a full safety car after the patch.
Yeah, the patch enables like, more safety cars. So
yeah, so it just looks like Jaco just got sideways off the start.
He basically looked like he stalled on the start, and I I think he got tangled up with I think McCrew it was. He was quite close to him.
Yeah, I think.
And I think Cookie Games was just an unfortunate
Yeah, we'll
that
see.
situation.
Expect
The virtual
quite.
safety car is away and fighting
Mark.
up ahead at the grid, and Marcus had a really bad start, losing 2 positions there.
Well, yeah, I think he tried to have a go at Killer and then just lost out, and Super Gamer took
Mark
advantage of that.
actually jumped Killer Blue off the start.
Oh wow, okay. As down the inside goes Gary Donegan having a look at Mark, but it's actually Dylan that's going around the outside. Better contact there, down there, and Gary does not want to give up this place, but the side by side through 11 almost coming together into 12, and Dylan has to get out of that. Gary not taking any prisoners there. This battling is good for those soft runners to try and pull away. Got yellows in sector 3. I can see a car off there, V5. So V5 dropping there. It's been a nightmare start for a number of drivers. Yeah,
McCrew is into the pit, so I think it was him involved in that collision.
He's sped in the pit. I was on board with him. He was cruising at 90 kilometers an hour. A bit strange. As Mark is coming back at Super Gamer, but can't get close enough into turn 1. As Jake will eventually retires from the session. I think he's spun it around the last corner, maybe, or crashed at the pit entry. I don't know. But either way, not great to see for a guy that was very, very fast in qualifying. But it's up to Mark now to try and get past Super Gamer, as Killer Blue is absolutely bolting up front there, as Harry Noir actually noted, top hard runner, done very well off the start in P7, so he managed to get through all that carnage very nicely. He leads YHYY there, as some cars now emerging from the pits. Cookie Games on the hards. Is he going to possibly try and go the entire race? It'd be an absolutely bonkers strategy, but we'll see. It's got yellows in section 2.
Can't see this, but
yeah, it looks like it was just a minor off for one of the drivers. But yeah, Killer Blue, to be honest, the Super Gamer keeps holding up these cars. Killer Blue, this strategy could work, he's already 2 seconds clear after 2 laps, even with a VSC. So yeah, Killer in the driving seat there, comfortably pulling away at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So he can make that soft hard maybe work if he gets such a gap to the medium runners. As he sets the fast lap to race with a 121.6.
DRS
Let's see,
enabled.
Mark looks close to Super Gamer.
Not close enough, I don't think.
Indeed. Further down, RLT down, close to YYY. Not close enough either.
Both.
As Maledictus is into the pits from the hards, he might have gotten damage on the resource as he just changed his wing.
YHYY getting a little bit out of shape coming out of 3, and both him and Dan have to try and get past Harn Warren as quickly as possible, or the Renault is just going to stack them up on these hards. He's already dropping back from the 2 Toro Rossos ahead, who are running very well, I'll have to say. Gary, though, is looking very feisty behind Mark. These guys, of course, long-term friends and rivals, and yeah, this is a battle I'm really looking forward to. Gary tracking Mark going through a turn 9, runs very wide, though, and that could compromise his run. Dylan, though, I don't think is close enough. I don't think he's going to go for that sort of a lunge there, so Gary is able to survive. Still top medium runner at the moment. Does YHYY have a look at Harren Ward? No, he doesn't. Now he's going to get held up to this
Nico,
last sector as well.
Down the inside of Adri. Bit of collisions, still side by side. Looks like Adri just holds on to that, and it's only costing Nico some time there.
Yeah, Nico was on the curb going to turn 11, had to get out of that. Bit of a feint there from Callum to the inside there. And Adri, again, another hard runner that's running very well in this race. Got through the carnage. Now he's got to try and hold off Nico. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to hold on that, but further up the grid, Mark now looking for P2 down the inside of Super Gamer. Does he make that one sight? There's a Mercedes off, I think it's Boy Road through the second sector, and Super Gamer has to yield. He loses out. Nico past Adri on the straight there. He's past that hard runner. Now he's got to try and get a move on there and get up towards those cars in front. He's already leaked 3 seconds to them, as Rick is actually having a look at Callum there. Of course, he's had a good start to the season, relatively speaking, so he's just now got to work, and try and get through on that Williams if he can. You've got yellows in sector 3. I think that's Boyer Road. I think he's round again. So he's had a horrible lap there further down the field. And no, he's just gone straight through the chicane, I think. So not great to see, but anyway, Super Gamer still being a bit of a bottleneck here for all of these medium runners. Gary's being very patient here. He knows he's in a good position, he doesn't have to rush. But Killer Blue, if he keeps pulling away, which could become harder and harder to do. As Dylan's very wide, going through turn 12, but Carmentos is not close enough to take advantage. Now the two Toro Rossos looking to get into a bit of a tussle on the track. Round these final few corners, of course, all about the exit off this turn. And we'll see how they're able to nail it. I don't think Gary's going to be close enough to Super Gamer. We'll see. He's in overtake mode, so he's gunning for it. There's a fastest lap from Mark, looking to try and chase down his teammate. Gary is not close enough. Further back, YY doesn't look to be close enough to Harry as well. So he's holding steady there in 7th place, doing well. Gary, though, on the back of Super Gamer. Realistically, if he wants to really get himself into a really good position, he needs to try and get past this Alpha. Does he do it? No, he stays behind, going into turn 4. Rick past Caleb as well in the background. So, bit of chaos going down there. And Gary, if he sits around for too long, those Toro Rossos could be all over him.
Yeah, definitely. Harry is struggling to keep up, and you'd expect that on those hards. So we was just picked up another 10-second time penalty. Anyways, Gary very close to Super Gamer, but Super Gamer does get the exit out of 9. Doesn't look like Gary is close enough this time out just yet, and there's almost a second gap from Mark to Super Gamer. Let's see.
Yeah, Super Gamer, that DRS did end up saving him there, and he's still actually holding on to it there. He's got to try and keep his head down, not make mistakes, and try and stay with Mark. Killer Blues gapped Mark a little bit on this lap. Gaps over 3 seconds. Early pit stops from Mark and from Super Gamer, so that frees up Gary, but also frees up those two Toro Rossos. They're going to be hunting him every step of the way. But it is Gary now with that in the, I'd say, the best position right now. Keller, of course, well out in front in this race, but he's going to have to pit soon as these softs go off.
Mark is onto mediums, and let's see what Super Game is going on to hard, so he'll be trying to make that work.
They were very close.
And Addery, very close as well.
Yeah, these are the second and third fastest hard runners so far in this race. See how if Rick's able to get the move done. He does look pacey, Rick, I have to say. He's just not had the quality session that he wanted, and he runs very wide. It's Boy Road. I don't know how it's physically possible. No disrespect, but I don't know how it's possible to pick up so many penalties at the rate he's going at. But anyway, Rick setting up behind Adri. He's going to need a much better exit out of 9 if he wants it. Gets a good exit, but so does Adri.
Dylan just lost it out of 10 and again at 11, and his lost touch for the both Toro Rossos to Gary.
That could be absolutely vital in this race. Does Killer pit? Yes, he does. So Gary is going to take the lead of this race. Killer gets slowed down for the pits nicely.
I wonder, is he going to follow Mark on that strategy or Super Gamer? Let's see. What tires is he on? He's on to mediums.
Yeah, so he follows his teammate as Carmentos pulls to the inside of Dylan and is comfortably passed. I don't think Dylan was going to fight that against his teammate. Still, Harry keeps YY behind, and he's really in a good position here, Harry, I have to say. Because he's still with these guys in second and third, running very well on the hards. As Adri coming under attack from Rick. Rick looks to the outside of turn 3, not going to happen, but he can get a better exit there, maybe into turn 4. It's going to take a ballsy move if he wants it. No, he's sensible and sticks back for now, but Adri coming under pressure there in that battle. As I'm not sure, as Boyer Road, I'm just raising a concern here because he's just got a 10-second penalty just coming out the chicane. I get the feeling that I feel like he's not even taking this race seriously, which wouldn't be great to see, to be honest.
I've got him taken out, Matty.
Oh, that.
Look at, yeah.
I don't like giving opinions on stream, but that is disgraceful. You cannot drive like that in a league race. You simply can't. And yeah, he's just completely disregarding the rules. I don't really know what to say. It's just bad sportsmanship. There's not much other way to go about it.
Carmentos has the faster lap of the race. Let's go on to the lead battle. No moves looking here.
Oh, well, you say that. Rick pulls to the inside of Adri. I don't think Adri's going to fight that one too hard. Another simple DRS pass down the straight, and through goes Rick into P8 now, the second of the hard runners, as Mark sets the fastest lap of the race, about 3 seconds adrift of Killer Blue. These Ferraris really have to move. They need to try and get through this traffic if they want to finish well in this race, because they look to be two-stopping. Super Gamer might be really gambling on this, potentially even going for a one-stop. We'll see how he's able to fare versus those Ferraris, and might see what the quicker strategy is out of the soft runners. That's going to be an intriguing battle to keep.
Yeah, that can be very intriguing indeed. Can't quite hear you at the moment, Dan.
Oh no, sorry, sorry. I was just expecting you to keep going. That's all right. But
right. Let's see. These guys still within a big train. 5 cars here. Torres is leading that. Well, you just see at the bottom of your screen what happened there. Virtual safety car.
He has gone, I believe, straight on at turn 4. Given he got a penalty, I wouldn't be surprised if he drove straight into the wall.
This is interesting. Callum is into the pits.
Oh wow, yeah, we'll see how these guys. Killer Blue has gone very slowly, even for VSC. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe
he exceeded Delta a bit, so he's trying to slow down.
I mean, considering he was 6 seconds ahead of Mark, I think you're right there. We're back racing.
This has at least helps Callum get some time. He's onto the hards, and he'll be looking to finish the race on those tires.
I think that could be quite a smart call here. Oh, he's on softs for me on screen.
Nah,
I know he's.
Yeah.
I know he's on hards.
Just, messes it up a bit there.
Tell you what, Gary is hard.
The Torosses have broken away again from Harry under that virtual safety car. So that's good for them, and they might be trying to catch up to Gary ahead.
Yeah, Gary's not exactly having it all his own way there. He's pulled away a bit since the restart, but he has had to be kept honest. Of course, the championship contender in a prime position with Cookie running well down the field, P17 at the moment, had a nightmare race, but we'll see if Dylan wants to repass his teammate here and if Carmentos is going to try and fight it. Down the straight, the gap's closing. Is it closing quickly enough though? Dylan within 2/10, pulls to the inside there. Looks like they're going to go racing here, the Toro Rossos, but he gets through on the brakes. Dylan does enough there. Now, he's got to be the one to push on, try and get up to Gary. Gary's now pulled away. He's got 2-second lead, doing very nicely out front. We'll see if he's able to keep that one going, as YHYY looks like he's beginning to struggle, coming under increasing pressure. That was butchered that. Increasing pressure from ILRT Dan. Is Nico on a good comeback drive, trying to reel both of them in there. He currently sits P7 after crashing in quali. Good drive from him so far.
Yeah, definitely good drive, and he'll be looking. He's looking good on pace, to be honest. To actually catch up back to the front back, basically, from being over 3 seconds behind. Might be able to get something going in the second stint as well.
Yes, indeed. And just keeping an eye on these two Rosses. They've actually, by swapping, they've actually allowed Harry back in. I really fancy Harry in this race. I think he can get a podium here with the position he's in.
Yeah, I think we might see a repeat of. Well, hopefully we can see a repeat of China where Harry and Gary went wheel to wheel. Multiple times.
Carmentless made a mistake coming off the final chicane. Oh, a lot of lag actually. He's just gone further up the road. So, and now he's just in front of what is going on. These two.
Yeah, I recognize this.
Yeah. Hashtag relatable. But yeah, Carmentos, he's still jumping about crazily for me. Oh, I hope this isn't putting off the guys, because on my screen, Harry is now just pulled alongside him inside of turn 4. Does he make that one stick? Carmentos is way wide, and he's giving up places there. YHYY is through. He's onto the grass on the exit there. And no, YHYY is not through. Oh my god, this is. I'm sorry if this is ruining the stream a little bit, but it's pretty difficult to commentate over this. So, yeah, excuse us here, but yeah, Carmentalist, I think, is definitely down to P4. Hopefully that lag sorts itself out, because we really don't want to see, a car jumping about and being a distraction for us as well as the drivers out there.
As Cookie Games gets the penalty, and his race only goes from bad to worse for now. And he really needs a miracle. And a miracle called the safety car to get back up.
I recognise that Carmentless now has damage on his end plate, and he's really holding up YHYY, who's lost touch with Harry actually after all this.
Gary,
Do we have
Gary's
pit
into the
stops?
pits,
As
and I
is
think
YYY
Parentless is
and
out.
yeah, most of the front runners and Dylan really the only one staying out there. And we'll see if Gary, we'll see if Gary's actually able to get out of the pits okay, because there's a lot of cars here. We'll see. Watching the Racing Point puts on
Ooh,
the
he's
hards.
getting up
He gets
a
away.
little bit. That's fine.
It was a bit unsafe actually. Just came out in front of Carmentalist too. I did mention he had that damage, getting that wing change, and the Ferraris are well clear. So Killer Blue still technically with the net lead. And I
there were
believe
yellows in sector 3, but I can't see him on the full track map, so...
I think that's Maledictus. Oh, that's Cookie actually. Cookie is giving up that place to Matty G. Trying to fight back at him there. Going into turn 14. Yep, pretty wisely backing out of that one.
The Williams guys as well fighting for P14 before just got past.
Maledictus going round the outside of turn 2 to the inside of turn 3. Can he make that one stick? Callum's contact! Contact, and out goes Callum. That's desperately unlucky. I think the contact was very minor. That would have been an incredible move from Maledictus round the outside of turn 2. And we've got yellows. We shouldn't have a VSC or a safety car, I don't think. And yep, we are indeed still racing. But Killer Blue now, closing up to the back of Adri. Still out on those hards. Lost a bit of touch with Rick as Dylan comes into the pit. Ooh, he looks like he hit the wall slightly for me. I guess it's slowed down though. Nico staying out. So he's actually trying to stretch the stint.
He has maybe fresh mediums though, so
that's
might
true,
help him. So Callum is off again, and yeah, this race is also not going really well after that good pit call. Been on the virtual safety car early on, but doesn't look like it's really helping him at the moment.
Dan has got...
look close to Adri as well.
Yeah, Dan pulling to the inside of E5. It's a comfortable move down the straight. Killer Blue though, he's going to be losing time here, and with the strategy he's running, he can't afford to be losing time. He's about 5 or so seconds ahead of Gary at the moment.
Gets really close to the back and then might actually have touched him. As YYY has just got past V5 into turn 4. Very impressive move.
Yeah, he's been leading Dan most of this race, and now he's trailing him, so he's eager to get back up. As Killer Blue doesn't get the best exit out of 9, that might compromise his chances, and indeed he does not make that move on Adri going into turn 10. We'll stay on board with the Ferrari for this last sector, as we've got yellows in sector 1. I think that's Cookies off again.
Yeah.
It's the absolute nightmare he's had there, and at the moment Gary is looking to pull huge amount of points on him in the standings, as now exit the final corner. Adri stays out. I think he gets a bit sideways going around this last corner. We'll see if Killer was able to get this move done. He's got a lot of VRS to deploy and to utilise, try and get past this McLaren. Adri's not making it too easy, moves middle of the track. Killer opts for the outside route. Does he get it done? He's clear before they get to the braking zone and sweeps into P4 on track, and technically the net lead. And now he's got that car between himself and Mark, which is key for him, as Mark is actually being caught by Gary. Gary in the zone right now. Dylan behind him has fresher tyres, but at the moment not closing down. Gary still sitting very pretty. P7 at the moment. Where will it be by the end of the race?
Yeah, I think he might have a good chance at winning this race, and he'll be looking to do that as well. Any close battles on track, I think for now not really. To see YYY and Dan are relatively close. So maybe a move will happen here soon. As they come to 7 and 8, you need to get the power down quite easily, but I think these guys are very similar on pace. I don't think a move will happen anytime soon unless one of them makes a mistake there.
Yeah, these guys have been basically running in each other's DRS this entire race. Not been much to separate them in the slightest, as Nico finally in.
Indeed, Nico's in. Let's see, he'll be having fresher hearts, so he might be able to push on a bit more. I reckon he'll come out around perhaps V5. So was about 2 seconds behind the train of Dan and YYY.
I think I agree with you there. Nico coming in the pit lane. He may actually be behind them. No, he's got on the throttle now. He might be in this group actually, as Cookie Games is out.
A virtual safety car.
VSC. Nico benefits hugely from that. Look where he is now. He's in front of Dan.
Ooh, he's been pushing on those laps on the mediums, final few. And Yeah, very impressive run from him there.
VSC's not going to last long enough to allow the top two hard runners to come into the pits. I still, I still like Harry in this race. I think he's in a very good spot, but it's Gary in control of this, still sitting up behind Mark. I think he's comfortable there. But as Nico, who I believe now running, Nico again, another car, and with a podium potentially, and say, Rick has picked up a drive-through. Must have just nipped over that delta right at the last minute. And what was looking like a decent race for him has been hugely compromised. Now, Dan is eager. He's sitting up behind Nico. No move, going Ed to the hairpin. These guys sticking nicely in a line. Let's keep an eye through this last sector there, the racing point. He's got to try and stay as close as he can. He's got much fresher tyres, much more grip. Rick comes into the pits, probably serving that drive-through penalty.
That's so kind of has ruined his race there. Let's see. Nico's getting closer to Super Gamer, and he has the DRS, and it looks like it's going to be an easy move here.
Super Gamer
into the pits as well, and
Super Gamer pulls to the inside. They're right next to Rick. They jumps them. Yellows in sector 1. That's there's car. Callum's off. A race that was looking fairly promising for him goes downhill, and he's now, well, luckily with the ghosting we have now, he shouldn't get in the way of the leaders coming through. But Nico now into what could be a podium. I reckon he and Harry could have a duel at the end of the race. If Harry loses too much time, he will have to be out in amongst these guys. He will be pitting soon though, and getting off those hards onto some mediums, I'd expect, and looking to hunt these guys down. I'm going to put it onto a gap to the leader.
Yeah.
And I think it's about 22 seconds. About
23 to Nico from Harry. I think Harry will have that currently.
Well, Harry stays out another lap. It was right by Y coming under attack, or just getting past Rick, sorry, and moving up past his brother. Now behind Dan, who's also closing on Super Gamer. Super Gamer, of course, on older tyres than most of these guys. And hopefully, well, I'd like to see him put up a bit of a fight, but we'll see what happens. As I'm pretty sure, talking about Harry again, that pit window is about 22, 23 seconds, would say. So if he were to pit now, he may come out in front of Nico, which is huge, because in that point he'd only be about 7 seconds off the lead.
He'd be in a net P3, and he'll have fresh mediums push on to catch Dylan and maybe even Gary, as Dan is close to Super Gamer but doesn't get past him.
Super Gamer got a bit out of shape going through turn 2. Dan, though, doesn't quite follow through. Nico has got to get the hammer down, though. He's got these fresh tyres, and he needs to really move here because he can't afford to be behind Harry. If he's behind Harry, then he's got absolutely no chance of coming ahead in this race. As Killer Blue's still getting on with it, but he's only about 6 seconds clear of Gary. So, strategy.
Train a bit. Adri, Mark, and Gary all close to each other, and this is not benefiting either Mark or Gary. Let's see.
Harry stays out.
Dylan might be able to catch up.
Dylan, he's about 3 seconds adrift of these guys, but he is gaining rather quickly. If Adri is able to defend well, we'll see what Mark fancies doing here, if he's going to try and hold off the racing point up behind him there. Adri gets a fairly good exit coming off that final corner. He might be clear, you know, of Mark, so Mark might not be able to get that move done. In fact, he's going to have to defend. Gary is tracking him, looks to the outside there, trying to force him into braking late. Down the inside, almost goes Mark, almost runs into the back of the McLaren, gets a little bit out of shape going through 2 as Dan cruises past Super Gamer into P8. Super Gamer going a bit deep through turn 1, doesn't hit the Mercedes luckily. Further up the field though, no moves being thrown, and this is holding back Gary and allowing Dylan, who is on the lap fresher tyres mind you, to just eke into that gap and gradually close them down, as Nico is also getting that gap down to Harry in that crucial battle to get out of the pits first. I'd expect Harry to be pitting very soon, probably in the next 1 or 2 laps really.
Yeah, I think he'll be pitting soon. One guy to keep an eye on as well is Killer Blue. He could be on for decent results as well.
Yeah, indeed. You know, we'll see. He's going to be very quick at the end of this race. Harry, he's got a penalty. Stays out another lap, though. I feel like he's pushing this a bit too far, because, like, he had Nico before. Of course, he won't be aware of this unless he's listening into the stream. As Car Mentalist picks up a penalty I feel bad for Carmentos, was running in the podium now further back. As into the pits comes Adri.
Adri. And that will release Mark and Gary. Let's see. Mark will be having the defend from the Irishman behind. Let's see. Gary's on the charts as Dylan has actually closed up to 2 seconds now from Gary. So Gary needs to get past quite quickly here.
He's also got to be careful that he doesn't get penalties as well, because of course now Dylan is within that range. He's right up behind Mark though, but runs a bit wide going through 4, and the move doesn't come through, and all the time Mark's tyres begin to go off and Gary continues to lose time. I wonder if Mark's going to try and delay his stint to hold up Gary. I know Mark well, and he'd probably want to do this to his Irish buddy. We'll see how they get on going around turn 9. Gary, of course, falling in that dirty air is not going to help him in the slightest. Opens the DRS, he's somewhat close, but it'd take a pretty ridiculous bit of braking to get that move done as Harry finally pits. So the Renault is in. Where does he come out? Of course, he's got that penalty now, which is going to hold him back. Gets stopped for the pit lane nicely. Where is he going to come out relative to Nico and those cars behind?
I think it's going to be around Nico, actually. I think between Nico and Dan might be a good one, as Kilwell is into the pits as well. And they'll be looking for a new set of mediums then. Let's see. Harry just come around. Let's see where Nico is. He's coming out of the pits now as Gary making a move on Mark.
Oh,
and
Gary almost spins. Oh, good save from Gary, but he's lost a lot of time. Dylan now, beginning to close in. And Harry, amazingly, look where Harry is.
Yeah, he's just come out right behind Dylan, actually. So the pit lane is actually not 22, but more like, let's say, 18 seconds.
Yeah, so a bit of a wrong call from him. And Harry, now he has that penalty. That is going to cost him. But he's got much fresher tyres, softer tyres. He's in this fight. It's been a remarkable drive from him so far. Now, he's looking at even a potential win here. Gary still beginning to get held up by Mark. Dylan searching for that DRS. If he can get in that range, it will hold Harry back from making that move into the last section.
I think Mark will pit his lap though. Because Blue just pit the last lap. And yeah, I think Gary might just have to luck that Mark is gonna pit this lap.
Of course, if Mark pits, it is going to give Gary that DRS down the main straight, and that's exactly what happens. Gary is now released and gap him. He needs to gap Dylan because Harry is on the charge, and he's already looking to get by Dylan. Let's see what happens there. Which way does he go, inside or outside? Dylan defends to the inside goes Harry though, and he's clear him on the straight. Harry Noir in a P2, and the win is in his sights. He's got so much time to get this done. So the Renault driver chasing a win here as Gary continues to march on, but that gap's under 1.5 seconds. I think he's under a lot of pressure as Wise had a spin coming out of turn 2, and well, there's finally some separation between himself. Dan Carmentalist is off as well.
Yeah, I just saw something quite odd. Carmentalist just set a fast lap of the race with an 18.5.
Right.
I'm gonna check the race director real quick. Yeah, he's done a 24.5 in last sector, which is 3 seconds faster than usual. So I don't know how he's got away with that, and because that can't be a normal one.
Maybe it's a glitch. I don't know, but if I were Gary, I'd be very nervous at the wheel because Harry is absolutely reeling him in. Here comes Mark now on the charge. He's past Adri, who I think made a mistake coming out of turn 9. So he gets the move done. Killer Blue's not out of getting a good position here, you know. In 7th, but he's a handful of seconds behind Super Gamer, who's on very old tyres. And in fact, he's had enough. He is into the pits. That hard strategy nowhere near coming off. And Killer Blue picks up a place, as will Mark. So Harry Noir close to Gary. This is the battle we wanted to see. You mentioned earlier them going wheel to wheel in China. Well, I think it's almost certain we'll get Harry Noir and Gary Donegan going wheel to wheel here in Spain, as Harry closing that gap 0.5 second away. If Gary can hold him up for maybe a little bit, it could allow those mediums to go off and give Gary that fighting chance. Carmentalist is out.
Are we gonna get any sort of safety car? It doesn't look like it's right now.
Nope, doesn't look like that indeed. Yeah, So Gary, what he needs to do is try and hold him off for as long as possible until those hards become competitive with those mediums. It will take quite a while for that to happen, but if he's able to do it...
Do remember, Harry does have a penalty.
That's true.
And if Gary has got that pace at some points to stick in the DRS of Harry, he might just be able to just stick behind him and get to win like that. But of course, I think Gary wants to do it pretty and just let Harry stay behind.
Harry had a better exit coming off the chicane. Let's see, Gary immediately moves defensive there and back to the other side, waving about, trying to break that slipstream. Harry's not having any of it, closing in now to the outside of turn 1. Does the Renault go through? Gary doesn't give it up around the outside, late braking. Harry Noir takes the leader, does he? Gary's almost round. Gary has to save a slide. Does Dylan go up into P2? And this has freed up Harry now. He's almost 3 seconds clear already. A mistake from Gary on over the curb of turn 2. And now with Dylan behind him, Harry can get that 3-second gap with ease now. He's in the driving position here.
Yeah, he's definitely looking like the favourite for the win here. So Gary just had that unfortunate spin on the curb of turn 2, which is quite a deadly curb if you don't get it right. And he's now looking eager to push on and keep that gap within 3 seconds. That would be very tough on those older hards compared to those newer mediums.
And with Dylan putting ever-increasing pressure on him now in that DRS range after that mistake from Gary. Also looking back, Nico's only a few seconds adrift. Nico has had a superb drive. Let's look at the positions gained here actually. He currently sits up 13 spots in this race. Harry himself up 10 spots. These guys starting on the fresher tyres, well, they've done quite well there. And Nico, well, what a drive from him. He's not even he's not even out of reach of that podium yet, to be honest, if he's able to keep that clean. But Gary dropping back. Harry just needs a little bit more trying to get that gap out, but he's running low on ERS. He used it all to try and get past Gary with a great move at turn 1.
I see McCrew, I think, just gone off.
Yeah, I can confirm, yeah, the Williams driver off in that final sector now behind Maledictus. Still chasing the points as McCrew. Of course, points that going down to P12 in this league. Quite unique system, but it's quite good actually. I really like it because it stops people rage quitting. Harry, since that spin, he's not made the most of it. I'm starting to think that he really uses ERS to try and get that move done on Gary, and now he seems to be struggling to push that out. Gary is not out of this just yet.
Harry is indeed only on now 13% of ERS, and that's just out of a braking zone. So what he needs to do is probably just save a bit of ERS and then go on pushing. He's almost got the gap to 3 seconds as Matty G picks up a time penalty.
Ian, yes, indeed. Of course, Gary. I'm going to do a quick check. Actually, the race director, Gary, 2 warnings he's picked up. One of them might be for a collision. I don't know. We're fairly recent, so Gary is under pressure here to keep it on the track himself. He's managed to almost match Harry on that lap, but he's coming under pressure. Dylan on the back of him. Yellows in sector 2. I believe that's Callum off once again. Yep. As Gary is able to hold firm for now. Nico running behind. Killer up into P6 now, chasing down Dan. We'll see if he's able to keep that charge going on those mediums and salvage a good position. And I believe his best result of the season. He's had a fairly torrid start to this season so far. Currently on for P6, and if he keeps this charge going, maybe even P5 challenging Dan. We're going to have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, definitely. He's looking like he's got good pace, and Mark as well, looking strong in P7. So both the Ferraris looking quite... And it's a safety car because Callum has retired from the session. This could change everything. And this is not in the benefits of Harry here.
Yeah, why comes into the pits. Of course, there's a real debate for these guys now. I reckon if I were Killer Blue, given the gap he's got to Mark, he's got a real slot to try and come into the pits here. So yeah, real in this race. Who decides to bite the bullet and go in, take a risk, sacrificing track position potentially,
let's see,
but also giving yourself the tyre advantage? Harry from the lead, probably got the most difficult decision to make. He goes into the pits. That's brave, and so as does Gary, and Dylan follows him in. Does anyone try and stick it out?
Nico is going in as well. Dan is going in as well.
I think everyone's going to go in here. So we've got near enough a complete reset.
Killer Blue. He just wasn't decisive there, but just about went into the pits. Just a repeat of Hamilton in Germany 2018, I think.
Mark driving very slowly into the pit lane just to try and avoid stacking. He's got a bit of a gap for a few seconds, but of course, race, consider it, completely neutralised. Harry still has that position, but that's hugely detrimental for him because now it's going to be so difficult for him to get that gap that he needs, 3 seconds, because now Gary is going to essentially get reset right on the back of him. We know Gary's got pace, so all he has to do is get ahead of Dylan. He shouldn't lose 3 seconds in what will be a handful of laps. So I think Harry, we gutted that come out, because really he worked a great strategy to get to the lead, was chasing that win, and now it's just become all the more tough for him.
Yeah, definitely. As I'm just checking the penalties, I don't think Harry, of course, has a penalty. Anywhere till Killer Blue doesn't. Let's see, Mark doesn't have penalty. Adri, neither. Super Gamer, neither. I've seen little penalties this race. Of course, Rick has had that 5-second time penalty on lap 1. I don't know if that's served or whatever that was. We'll see about that. P5, no penalty either. Maledictus, let's see. No penalty either. Crew doesn't look like he has a penalty on lap 1, but I don't know if that's served or whatever that is. YYY, no penalty. Master G does have quite a few penalties, and that's it.
Well, for the most part, very well done, D2. They've done a great job of keeping it clean over the course of this race. Let's see when the safety car decides to come in. YYY's got a bit of ground to make up, hopefully. He's able to get on the back of that. Of course, everything can change in these last few laps. Could see some incidents. Usually, actually, after safety car periods, the field stays pretty clean. Hopefully, D2 is able to follow suit on that one. But it is Harry.
Yeah, definitely.
Still leading. But his chance of getting this win here, well, yeah, they've been cut in half, essentially. He's got a lot of work to do, and he needs to hope for some luck. Gary maybe gets caught up in battling or makes another mistake if he wants to grab this win.
Yeah, definitely. It's just right now, it's a few guys just getting in a massive amount of positions throughout the race. Nico 12, Harry 10, Dan on 9, and Rick even on 8 as well. So yeah, quite a few position changes. There's actually almost no change. Like, no one's staying in the same positions. I think the least I've seen is 3 up for Gary and P5.
Oh, wow, that's very impressive. It's also worth noting that Dan has jumped Nico through the pits. So the Mercedes man, of course, championship contender from last season.
Nico get a sack behind Gary.
Yep, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much inevitable. But of course, Dan, who hasn't had the best pace at this track, still looking at a good result, as the safety car, we can confirm, is coming in at the end of this lap. So
6 laps.
6-lap shootout indeed, as yep, Harry is almost coming to a stop. He's going 35 kilometers an hour, which is almost ridiculously slow then. As there's been a massive hold up behind. I don't know what's going on here then.
P5 just having a collision with Rick. I don't know what that's about, but
I just saw there was a massive gap. As Mark's running wide through, he's letting. I think he's trying to let Adri through. It's been an absolute mess here. So anyway, back towards the front.
Harry is going now
gets
out
it
of the chicane and
bit of oversteer. He gets away nicely. No, he needs to get out DRS, and he needs to hope that Gary gets held up. But neither of those things seem to be happening so far. That gap between 6th and 7th really opens out there, as there was a bit of confusion further back. Super Gamer to the outside of Adri, looking to turn 1. He gets his nose ahead onto the brakes. Who brakes later? It is Adri on the inside there. Gets a bit out of the shape though, but he's able to hold it together and keep that 7th place. Now Mark is chasing behind as well. Let's look further up the grid there. We got cars running in formation. Still Harry holds that lead, but of course Gary just has to try and keep it on track. He knows what he needs to do there. Dylan is still a threat. Dylan looking at a very strong result here, and Dan also with a potential podium, but Nico's going to look to do something about that and put pressure on the Mercedes man. That's going to be one thing to look forward to, as these cars are running very close. Not much action going down there. Might have to wait for a little bit before the real racing starts taking place.
Smaladictus picks up the time penalty for the down the grid. Anyways, it's a 6-car group getting away here, and these guys will be fighting for the victory, and I don't think anyone else behind that is, without any crazy stuff, capable of getting that victory here today.
Of course, we'll see what happens with Gary and Dylan. This is, you could call it the de facto fight for the lead at this point, because Harry is not breaking away at all. Does Gary know about the penalty? Who knows? He might just go all guns blazing there. He's closing in. No DRS as of yet. He's gaining on the Renault, but I don't think he's going to go for it in a turn one. No, indeed he does not. Dylan's struggling to match these pace of the top two. He's starting to fall back. He's out of DRS there. This takes a lot of pressure off Gary. He can just focus on sticking on the back of this Renault. Looking further down the field, Super Gamer still threatening Adri, who's got a massive train building up behind him. The field is kind of split into two groups. The top six running away up front. So we've got Nico trying to put pressure on Dan, but it's Dylan that's beginning to bottleneck up behind Dylan. He's trying to get back in that range. He is back within DRS of Gary. Gary's got to keep pushing. Harry still leads them out there, but that penalty could really cost them here.
Yes, currently Harry would drop down to P5 just, maybe even P6 if Killer Blue gains about a attempt there. So Harry's basically a bit done himself there with that penalty. Anyways, Gary looking close, and Dylan has actually caught up again. So Maledictus, I think, has disconnected from the session.
Dylan, wait, what?
I think.
Oh no. Yeah, so Dylan goes ghosting. Yeah, there's been a huge disconnection.
With three cars disconnected, four even. And
yeah, it looks like it's going to stay at 4, but oh, that's absolutely awful to see. Because yeah, Dylan, who's running such a good race, he's out of it basically. He's not going to be able to hold that. So Dan looks like he's on for P2 here, which is quite remarkable. But yeah, Harry's still leading them out. But yeah, I feel so sorry for Dylan, running in the podium the whole race, and now
for anyone
back.
Really that has just disconnected. Dylan, Killer Blue,
Killer Blue,
Maledictus, and McCrew. McCrew has got back in apparently. Maybe he can get back in his car for the end of the race.
Well, he hasn't yet, by the looks of things, as Nico is actually attacking. Well, let's say attacking Dylan. He picks up a penalty though. I don't believe Killer Blue has one. Of course, Killer Blue is running as a ghost car. This has just put such a damper on this race. There are 4 cars disconnecting. Of course, McCrew. Dylan now able to get back in. Does he take control of the car?
Yeah, that will take a bit because he needs to load into the session first. Yeah. So, hopefully he can do that as soon as possible. Maledictus as well, get him back in. Now we're just missing Killer Blue, and he's back in as Killer Blue's ghost car has decided to pit.
Oh my god. Oh,
great job, Cody. Sorry, but great job, Cody. Anyways, we can't. Let's see if anyone's got. Dylan has seemed to get back into his car. Anyone else? McCrew as well. Maledictus just haven't just yet. Killer I can't see. Not yet either.
I don't think Killer Blue has much to fight for after his... Why has it done that? He's on fresh soft. There's absolutely no reason to be pitting with 3 laps to go.
Exactly.
For God's sake, Cody's, but...
Anyways, the fights we can look for, on track at least, is Gary versus Harry, but I think Gary might just try and stick behind Harry. So yellow's in sector 2, and it might have been just Killer Blue, get him back in his car and just, I don't know what happens exactly, but...
He's back in now, but he's pretty much out of contention, unfortunately, after a very good drive. Working that strategy, starting on the softs very nicely, and was in that leading fight. Of course, now out of it. Harry's still trying to break toe of Gary. Well, I'm watching Gary here.
Close.
He's close. Does he pull to the inside in a turn 1? Has a look, but no risks being taken, which is fair enough. All he has to do is keep it on track, and I did mention that he was on 2 warnings earlier. So there's still pressure on Gary. He looks safe from Dan on track, but of course he's got to try and work. It looks like Harry's still going to hold his podium though, because I think Nico's
Mark's being put under pressure by Matty G there.
He is indeed. Does Matty G send it to the inside? No, he doesn't. Hangs back in a turn 4. Watch why right on the back of them as well. He's almost searches for that inside line. Doesn't quite find it. Mark holds 8th for the moment. Front of the field. Gary's able to sit very close behind Harry. He's running quite low in his ERS, but not actually as low as the Renault. Both these guys churning through it as they look to gap. I can see why Harry's doing that. He's got to try and put as much distance between himself. I think his battle is with Nico. Currently the gap setting about 3.3 seconds with just over a lap to go. So if Nico's
Nico has a penalty as well.
Oh, so he does, yeah.
So I think it's pretty much a podium place settled for Harry unless he gets another penalty.
Or gets in an instant here as Gary very, very close. Let's see what he's able to do. He's got the DRS over. He's overtake. He's going for it. Gary is going for it. High risk stuff to the outside of turn 1. He wants to do this on track. Gets his nose ahead. Does he get it done on the brakes? Harry still sticking it down the inside. Almost gets spun, and I think he realised he had to get out of that. Gary is well quite cautious on the exit. Now all he has to do is get this one done. Just keep it on track. Keep it steady, and he will have his second win of the season, and I believe the championship lead. I think the gap to Cookie stands at, is it 12 points between them? I'm not...
something like that. I think it's 12 indeed.
So,
but he'll take the leads by quite a bit.
So Gary, keeping it nicely consistent. I can see he's not taking any risks to turn 8. He's just looking to keep this one together. As Harren and Warg, after getting it desperately unlucky in this race, looks like he's going to have to settle for a possible P3 at this point. Dan looks to certainly be close enough. Dylan is actually, after that disconnection, very close with Nico. That's going to be one to watch out for P4 on the road. But Gary Donegan, having been put under a lot of pressure in this race, he has came through it all, as long as he just keeps it nice and cleanly. Round the final corner, Gary Donegan with yet another win in D2 across the line, and Dan is going to jump up to second, and looks like Nico is going to stay 4th from Dylan, who was so unlucky. He could have even been fighting for the lead if it wasn't for that disconnection, as Mark ends up getting 7th. Adri loses places on penalties. Matty G rounds out the top 10 from McCrew and Maledictus. V5 over the line from Rick and Killer Blue. So some very experienced drivers near the back. But Gary Donegan, he was put under so much pressure. Harry will feel pretty aggrieved by that. He nearly got that gap that he needed at 3 seconds. The safety car coming out, essentially ending his charge.
Exactly.
So anyway, it is Dan that gets P2. Somehow, again, this guy always able to pull something out of the bag, but it is Gary who moves into the championship lead with a great win. As the Racing Point man, the Irishman, hoists up the winner's trophy. And as you mentioned, moves himself into that championship lead in a prime position there. Dan takes second, and Harry Noir, probably one of the standout performances. Unlucky, really, to get 3rd. But Gary stands atop the podium and takes a rather emphatic win for the championship fight, as Cookie had a nightmare race further back. Puts Gary in a prime position, as I'll let you run through the results.
So Gary indeed takes the win here. Dan in 2nd place, and Harry and Nico. Dylan, Super Gamer, Mark, YYY, Adri, Matty G run out of the top 10. And McCrew and Maledictus run out the points. And then V5, Rick and Killer Blue, the last 3 to have finished. And unfortunately for Callum, Commercialist, Cookie Games, Brewerd and J. Cole, they all have not been able to finish this race.
Yeah, not great to see from then. Of course, Jacob feeling quite unlucky after of course that incident at the start. It's getting out of shape and, well, set the stage for what ended up being a fairly instant packed race. But Gary came through it all, and he was, we saw his championship rival making mistakes. Gary didn't make such mistakes. He takes a well-earned win and a well-earned step towards the title here in day 2.
Yeah, definitely in the next round in Monaco, he'll be trying to maintain that lead. Monaco is always an interesting race. You never know what's going to happen there. Pace difference is pretty huge there. We saw still the qualifying here was quite close to Spain, even on different compounds, but still.
Yep, D2 continues to entertain here. So I think we're just gonna quite swiftly move on with this one. In what has been an enjoyable race for us, hopefully an enjoyable race for you as well. I'm Badaka, he's been Verstappen, and we're out of here. See